Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today from the Better Business Bureau, it's our friend Tiffany Schultz. Tiffany, welcome back to the show. How are you doing this holiday season?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. And with the happy holidays comes my favorite segment, returns and exchanges. Oh, yeah. And while you may be chuckling or saying, why would you want to talk about this? Well, we know everybody goes out, buys a lot of gifts, and sometimes people don't want them. But I think a lot of time we have a lot of impulse buying and don't really check into all of the terms and conditions about purchases and returns or exchanges, or you're surprised that you can only in-store exchange or blah, blah, blah. So you're here to break it down so you're not surprised. Or if you are like, crap, I didn't read it, what do I do next? We're going to break down that fine print for you. So the season is hot right now. What does BBB have to say when it comes to the holiday returns and exchanges?
The Christmas shopping season is in full swing, and the National Retail Federation expects sales to increase 6 to 8% this year. So people are out there and they're spending. And like you said, maybe they're purchasing impulse buys for somebody that they're purchasing for, and they're really not sure they're going to like it, or maybe it's the wrong size or a color. So what do you do next? December 26th, it's all about holiday returns and exchanges in the stores. But we don't want you to have to send that gift back, or maybe your gift recipient, we don't want them to have a hassle in returning that. So we want you to be prepared. And the first thing you want to do before you go ahead and purchase, either in-store or online, is check the retailer's return policy. They are not required to have a return policy. So not everything is returnable. Keep that in mind. Sometimes you can find the return policy posted at the checkout. Sometimes you can find it online, back of your receipt. Keep in mind with your receipt that some days there's only a 90-day return policy. So if you've purchased that item in October and your gift recipient isn't getting it until Christmas, or maybe even after Christmas, that 90-day window can get pretty small pretty quickly. So always look for that return policy. Some items may not even be returnable, especially online items. If you're buying them at a steep discount, they may not be a returnable item. So make sure you look at that before you go ahead and purchase.
Yeah, I kind of chuckle when you said it. You're thinking 90 days and you may have bought it in October. The holiday season starts earlier and earlier every year. So you really got to take that into consideration, that when are you dishing this out and how long do they have to return it? You might want to write on there, right on the gift, you need to return in 22 days post this date if you're going to return it, just for that reason. Another thing that I wonder this year, and I've already experienced going and you purchase your stuff online, you're going to the store to pick it up, and you take it home, and then you're ready to return it. And I think a lot of people are doing that online stuff, so they might not even be checking it out online. Like, they're not going in the store and seeing the policy. They're not. So you got to really watch out for that, especially with the online shopping. And so starting with that, to get to know the store policies, where do these folks post these things? Whether it's the store, whether it's online, where should we be looking for these policies?
If it's online, sometimes you can find it on the terms and conditions page. You may even be able to find it on the items page itself. So maybe one item is returnable and one item isn't returnable. Or how do you return it? If you purchase it online, sometimes you may be able to return it to the closest retailer. Sometimes if you purchased it on Amazon, you can go back to an Amazon retailer. Other times you need to ship it back. What's the cost to ship it back? Who's paying for the shipping? Some items may be more expensive to ship back than they really are just for the item themselves because of where they need to go. Keep that in mind too. If you're purchasing in store, you're usually going to be able to find that at the checkout, back of the receipt, or even posted at the store's customer service center.
Yeah, there are some online retailers too, when you're going to do that return, like it says you have to take it to this specific spot to be free, or you're going to pay a little bit here or a little bit here. Another thing that you got to look out for, I assume you don't want to be caught like, wait, what?
Right. And, I do want to bring up special occasion dresses too, that those items, even though purchased in store, they need to have the tags on for the most part to return them after the holidays or even before the holidays. So keep that in mind. If you're purchasing items for yourself, even if they're not a gift item, you may have to go through a few steps to return them. And one of those is keeping those tags on.
Yeah, what if you're caught with you did pull the tag and you got the tag in hand and then you get back to the store and they're like, well, sorry, we can give you a store credit or you can, that's about it. You just gotta go with that.
Sometimes you can't even do that. Maybe it's something that you post on Marketplace or you post online for sale, never worn, but the tags were off, you couldn't return it, or you missed your return window on it. And that's another place to sell it to, another alternative, or borrow it to a friend.
There you go. Well, moving on to the product warranty, another very interesting area that we could probably spend a whole segment on just in itself, but that is something that you do want to look into when you are purchasing electronics.
Yeah, this comes into play with electronics, small home appliances, even furniture. If it doesn't work or there's damage to it, do you take it back to the store or do you take it back to the manufacturer? You want to know that up front. Who's going to service it? And are there certain places that need the services? How do you get it back to the manufacturer? Do you send it in? Is there a go-between that can get it to the manufacturer? Lots of things come into play there. And when you're checking out with those small appliances or those electronics, there's usually a warranty that you can purchase too. Before you purchase that warranty, you want to read that fine print. It's really easy to click yes on the keypad as you're checking out, but what does it all include? How do you get it back if there's a defect?
Yeah, that's a really good piece to check into. And there are some great tips just on warranties that we've talked about on this show, but also that's at BBB's website. You want to check that out because that's a big deal, especially if you're considering even purchasing extra warranty on top of that. All right. How about bringing an ID? Some places might require some identification when returning it. Is that they're trying to avoid scams, but from your standpoint, what should you do to protect yourself?
This is becoming more and more common every year that the retailer is asking you for an ID to return. If you've returned too many times at the place, you may not be able to return. So it's important to bring your ID along. It's important to bring that gift receipt along. And sometimes you're even going to need the credit card that it was purchased on in order to get the return. Otherwise, you may just get store credit. So if you want the full value of the return, you may be required to provide some documentation to do so.
Yikes. Well, this is all great information. I mentioned the BBB's website is a great resource to start up. This year, you've got the holiday page, which makes it even easier to find these great tips on staying safe and scam free during the holidays.
We have all our holiday content posted on a special page at bbb.org/holiday. If you want to look at some other articles that we talk about, some other topics we talk about throughout the year, bbb.org on our news tab is a great place to find those.
All right, Tiffany, can't think of any better place to get information on holiday returns than from you. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll check back in with you real soon.
Thanks for having me.